Hello fellow mutants, welcome back to another video, and in this video we're going to talk about 6 things that have aged well about the Sly Cooper games. In case if you couldn't understand what I was saying through that, we're going to talk about 6 things that has apparently aged well throughout the 4 Sly Cooper games. Now you guys know if you guys seen some of my previous videos, I'm a huge Sly Cooper fan. I am in the camp where I feel like Sly Cooper 5 should be released as like a conclusion to the Sly Cooper series, since like I don't think Sucker Punch has any interest in continuing the Sly Cooper games franchise. And so like after the cliffhanger that we got in Sly Cooper 4, I personally feel like fans who has been part of who has been sticking with the Sly Cooper games essentially all this time deserves a conclusion to what happens in Sly Cooper 4, whether or not that's in a miniseries, a video game, or a movie. Us fans deserves a conclusion, at the very least, like a fifth installment of some kind of Sly Cooper, so that way we can wrap the story up a bit. Maybe leave it off as like if they want to continue, they can, but like can continue the story if they want to, but at the same time, it'd be a good point to stop at. And I feel like, in a certain degree, Sly 3 was a pretty decent place where, like, in a way, they wrapped up the story while leaving it open for a sequel if they wanted to pick it up, and of course they did. And the fourth one, they kind of set it up where there's going to be a sequel, so hence where I'm coming from. There should be a Sly Cooper 5 that concludes the story, and if they want to like leave it off as if people want to tell more adventures about Sly Cooper, they can. Otherwise, this would be a good place to stop. If that makes sense. Anyways, let's read. 20 years after the debut, Sly Cooper is a master of thieving and platforming. Sly Cooper was once a huge platforming icon. After debuting in 2002, his series stood proudly with Jak and Daxter and Ratchet & Clank as one of the PlayStation's most popular properties. Since then, the thieving franchise have fallen off the map. This is a true tragedy. And I want to make clear before I continue that my first Sly Cooper game was the third one on the PlayStation 2. And I was so happy when they put the first 3 games in a collection onto the PlayStation 3 and release a 4th one. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And I feel like they should make a 4-game collection for the PlayStation 5 and then see how that plays out. And have fans are like, this is awesome. Like, if that recognized the love for Sly Cooper, make a 5th one to conclude the series for series. Because, like I said, us fans who's been sticking with Sly Cooper all this time, when like we were promised a movie that never got made, promised a 5th installment that hasn't been here yet, we deserve that. We deserve that, at the very least. Anyways, continuing. Sure, some elements of these stealth platformer titles don't hold up. The in-game animation, for instance, are stiff and recycled. That said, there is still quality adventure with strengths far outclassing their contemporary peers. With the series hitting the 20th anniversary this year being last year, now it is a great time to either revisit these games or experience them for the first time. Gamers owe it to themselves to do just that. True to his suave nature, Sly Cooper has aged like fine wine. So coming out at number 6 is style. The series don't wear the innocent face of most mascot platformers. Instead, the game's cross-film noir with a Saturday morning cartoon, a mix of odd on paper, but it proves perfect for the subject matter. Sly Cooper brings an infectious class to every caper, equipped with several stylistic quirks to strengthen that sense. The comic book cutscenes are appealing and purposeful. The suave soundtrack is both memorable and atmospheric. Words like pow and sap pop up whenever the heroes punch with some thugs. All of these combine to create something slicker than almost any other crime game. I have to say, that's like that the style is definitely there. And I love like just like taking myself back to playing like each game for the first time. That was like something. And which is part of the reason why I'm such a big advocate of placing the 4 games onto the PlayStation 5 in a collection. I'm making a 5th game, but anyways, let's see what number 5 is, which is graphics. The animated aesthetics also aided in appearance. The developers deliberately, the animated aesthetics also aids in appearance. The developers deliberately limit the texture of the world and characters, layering a coat of cell shading over much of it. That don't require anything more than to achieve a cartoonish quality. Combined with the vibrant colors and strategic lighting, this means Sly look as good now as he did at the time. Gamers with a realistic approach simply can't keep up, as technology infinitely advances to include more detail. Sly developers never strive for much detail. They know the limits of the hardware and work within those limits beautifully. That I agree. And can you guys imagine? Because like each Sly Cooper game, it seems like they have a somewhat different but familiar art style. But can you guys imagine how beautiful the graphics could be in Sly Cooper 5 if they came out with Sly Cooper 5? Oh my lord. I'm just thinking like my ex Kingdom Hearts 3, for example. And like the graphics in Kingdom Hearts 1 was pretty good. And yes, I'm referencing Kingdom Hearts. But the graphics in Kingdom Hearts 1 looks pretty decent. It holds up pretty nicely in today's society, right? I'll give you that, even though like it was released in 2002, around the same time as Sly Cooper 1 came out. Kingdom Hearts 2 upped the graphics a little bit, and the graphics looked better than in Kingdom Hearts 1. And then we had to wait like a whole 10 years for Kingdom Hearts 3. Right? Oh my god. Sure, we had like Birth by Sleep fragmentary patches like right before Kingdom Hearts 3 release, but oh, the graphics in Kingdom Hearts 3 was oh, you can tell that like the graphics kind of updated from Kingdom Hearts 2 to Kingdom Hearts 3. Granted that there were some games in between those games, but still, oh, the graphics in Kingdom Hearts 3 was so beautiful. So my point, by bringing Kingdom Hearts 3 into the mix, is that if they did the same thing for Sly Cooper, like keep the the cartoony graphic looking style, but just update it a little bit, Do you guys know how beautiful Sly Cooper 5 could be? Just in graphics. And it could help with the style, the art, the gameplay, the level structure, the characters, and the storytelling. Which, oh. This will sound like a really weird phrase, but work with me here. I Part of me is kind of horny for that type of graphics. If that makes sense. And yes, I said it. Don't trust me. So now, command number 4, gameplay. These games operate on stealth and platforming, and both of these elements feel polished from the start. The infamous raccoon has a reckless agility to his movements. He uses that physical prowess to dance across ropes, spears, and other narrow points to sneak past enemies. The sneaking itself is simply yet effective, appropriate for the light-hearted and light-footed gameplay. These work in tandem, and blending them feels intuitive and immensely satisfying. One would think piling other characters on top of this road would muddy the water, but that's not the case. Bentley and Murray are just as well realized as Sly. Their unique mechanics are essential to every heist, and nearly all of them are enjoyable to some extent. I can agree. Although both teammates have strengths and weaknesses, controlling them is never a hindrance. That's something that all too many franchises gets wrong when adding playable characters. And yeah, I can agree. Um, the gameplay has always been one of the best parts of Sly Cooper. Ooh, now they're going to number 3, level structure. I forgot that was the point I was going to make for the gameplay, so let's go. Level structure. The Sly games organize each chapter around a heist. While tragically wasted in the first entry's liner levels, the concept comes alive in the sequels. Players perform various infiltration, sabotage, and thieving jobs around a hub world brimming with personality. These set the stages for the climactic heist to cap off the chapter. The structure may sound familiar, but the execution is sublime here. These tasks let Sly and his friends utilize their respective skills in organic ways. The resulting variants staves off and any repetition, which is additionally aided by the pacing. The levels last exactly long enough without overstaying their welcome. Other crime titles like Grand Theft Auto pepper the essential mission with paddling or filler tasks. Thankfully, that's not the problem here. All jobs contribute to the heist in some way. Players can easily see that and are more motivated because of it. That sense of purpose means that core gameplay loop never gets old. More importantly, it ensures fans to pump once the plan finally comes together. And that is true. That is true. And one of my favorite parts, and maybe that I should have mentioned this in gameplay, it was like you be able to like sneak behind the bad guys, steal their money, just so you can get upgrades. That was like so cool in game. But the level structure, I've like, it was great, and I have to agree with everything. They know what is just enough that in some cases they leave you wanting more, but that at the same time that's a good thing, because you wanting more means you after you beat the story can come back and free roam each area, and that was like so cool, so cool. So that was number three, level structures. And number two is characters. Despite their unscrupulous profession, the Cooper Gang is easy to like. These characters just pop off the screen. They are defined. They have defined personalities well beyond their archetypical first impressions, and they naturally convey the depth through witty dialogue and enthusiastic voice acting. The only thing more entertaining than the characters themselves is their interactions, and that's true. Sly, Bentley, and Murray have a warm brotherly chemistry that's hard not to love. They can prompt each other up or crack wise at one another's expense. That enjoyment even extends to Carmelita Fox, a cop who have normally killed the mood with her attempts to arrest the gang. Her cat and mouse game with Sly is endlessly amusing, stimulated by banter as delightful as it is cheesy. With such spicy dynamics, these colorful characters ensure players never tire of watching them. And I do like how before Sly and Carmelina Fox kind of got together in Sly 3, just the end of Sly 3. I do love how Sly would flirt with Carmelina Fox, and she pretty much says, "Bitch, please, I'm trying to arrest you." It was hilarious. And one of the things I enjoyed about Carmelita Fox, since we're on that topic, is that in each of the four games, and you guys can easily fact check this, each of the four games, it seems like the voice actor for Carmelita Fox gets changed. Sly, Bentley, and Murray are the same, but Carmelita Fox is the only character from the first game that has their voice actor changed constantly. And I have to say that does, I do enjoy that voice acting of each actress who plays Carmelita Fox, because that's just amazing. And but my point is, because I got distracted, that each actress who comes in to do the Carmelita Fox, they capture the spirit of Carmelita Fox, and they add their own flavor to it, the character, and it's so entertaining. I love it. So kudos to each voice actor who played Carmelita Fox and the general cast of the Foresight games, because even if you watch the cutscenes on YouTube, it's pretty fun to watch and listen to the banter. It's great. So anyways, last one is storytelling. Audiences may not expect a complex tale from a cartoon, but the Sly series weaves a plethora of dynamic narratives to match a sleek presentation. There are well-paced globe-trotting adventures, keeping players both entertained and engaged. This is especially the case with Sly 2, which brilliantly unravels a methodical mystery with enough twists and turns to satisfy any crime story fan. The other game's plots are admittedly more basic, but the themes are living up to one legacy and moving beyond it or important throughout. In addition, the smaller story threads remain invested in where they take the characters. With such narrative prowess, the side games emerge shockingly poignant while avoiding the excess drownness most story-driven titles fall into nowadays. And that's true. So those are the six things that still holds up. The ace well, which is style, graphic, gameplay, level structure, characters, and storytelling. And I feel like if they can I feel like they can kind of capture those six great aspects for Sly 5. And yes, I'm bringing back to Sly 5 because I really would love to see the universe get concluded. Sly 5 should happen. Us fans deserve a Sly 5. My Sly Cooper is like one of the most entertaining game series I've played. It is cartoony, and on the surface, it may look like it's for kids, but I can promise you guys will get invested real quick because the story is decent. Like, my favorite one is like the third one, partially because that's my first Sly Cooper game. But even if you don't get into it because of the story, the gameplay is fun. It just makes you feel like, well, at least for me, it makes me feel like a kid again. And it's kind of like you're watching Saturday night morning cartoons, but you're playing in, you're controlling the character that you're watching on Saturday night morning cartoons. That's so great. They really should make a Sly Cooper 5 and re-release a collection on the PlayStation 4 or 5, with Sly 4 being part of the mix. But what do you beautiful people have to say about it? Let me know in the comment section down below. Love you guys. For one for today, be kind of one older. And I will talk to you fellow musicians later. Later, taters.